In 1893, Norwegian painter Edvard Munch created one of history's most iconic works, The Scream. The painting, depicting an anguished figure beneath a blood-red sky, became a universal symbol of the human condition and raw emotion. Interestingly, the title of the piece references a sound, a scream, which is, by definition, a sound wave propagating through mediums such as land, water, or air. This concept of sound leads us to explore its classification by intensity, measured using the decibel scale. The decibel scale is logarithmic, meaning that each increase of 10 decibels represents a sound intensity 10 times greater. Sounds at 0 decibels, the lowest level detectable by the human ear, can be perceived in extremely quiet environments. On the other hand, sounds above 85 decibels can cause irreversible hearing damage, especially with prolonged exposure, such as the constant noise of busy highways, extremely loud sounds like an airplane engine at 100 meters, 110 decibels, or explosions exceeding 120 decibels can result in immediate hearing loss. However, no sound produced by humans or everyday events comes close to the loudest sound ever recorded in history. The eruption of the Krakatoa volcano in 1880 Indonesia in 1883. This catastrophic event not only redefined the boundaries of natural destruction, but also produced a sound that remains unmatched in intensity to this day. In the years leading up to the eruption, the Krakatoa archipelago showed signs of intense seismic activity. On August 25, 1883, the volcano entered a phase of continuous activity, with explosions occurring every 10 minutes. Finally, on August 27th, 4 colossal explosions took place, each generating tsunamis up to 30 meters high. The third explosion at 10:02 a.m. was so powerful that the sound traveled over 4,800 kilometers, reaching places as far as Australia and Africa. The fourth and final explosion, considered the most devastating, reached an astounding 310 decibels. To put this into perspective, this sound was over 1 billion times more intense than a 120 decibel sound, the threshold of human pain. The shock wave generated by the explosion traveled at more than 1,000 kilometers per hour, rupturing the eardrums of sailors 64 kilometers away and shattering windows up to 900 kilometers away. The impact was so massive that the shock wave circled the Earth 3.5 times before dissipating completely. The effects of the eruption were not limited to sound. The volcano was completely destroyed, leaving only 30% of the original island. The disaster caused approximately 36,000 deaths, primarily due to the resulting tsunamis. The eruption also had significant climatic impacts. Large amounts of volcanic ash were ejected into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and reducing global temperatures by up to 1.2 degrees Celsius in the following years. This phenomenon, known as a volcanic winter, led to failed crops and record rainfall in various regions of the planet. One of the most remarkable effects of the volcanic ash was the alteration of sky coloration. Fine particles in the atmosphere scattered sunlight, creating extraordinarily red sunsets for months after the event. Many art historians and scientists suggest that these unusual skies may have inspired Edvard Munch to paint the fiery sky of The Scream. Although Munch never visited the region affected by Krakatoa, it is possible that he witnessed the intensely red sunsets in Norway, effects that were documented in diaries and paintings from that period. Nevertheless, the interpretation of the sky in The Scream is not unanimously agreed upon by historians. Some argue that Munch, as an expressionist artist, depicted the red sky based on internal emotions rather than natural events. In his diary, Munch described a moment when the sky turned blood red while walking along a fjord, which may indicate a more subjective inspiration. Regardless of the cause, the connection between Krakatoa and The Scream is fascinating. It illustrates how extreme natural events can influence human culture and art in unexpected ways. The Krakatoa eruption not only altered the natural world, but also left a lasting impact on the collective imagination through both physical and cultural phenomena. The story of the Scream and its link to the loudest sound in history is a powerful reminder of how nature and humanity are interconnected. Today, Krakatoa remains active with a new volcanic island called Anak Krakatau, Child of Krakatoa, emerging in its place. This volcano continues to show signs of activity, a constant reminder of nature's destructive and transformative power. And just as Krakatoa's sound echoed across thousands of kilometers, its story continues to resonate through generations, inspiring reflections on our place in a world as fragile as it is majestic.